booth. That's Dwight Stones, Lara Overton, Dan O'Brien. The guys with the 4x1 up, I pass the baton to you.
All right, John, and we accept it. You keep mentioning that it's hot, and you're right. It's 88 degrees, and certainly hotter than that on the actual track. 49% humidity. Distance races later in the evening, but it'll still be warm. But it's ideal conditions for our first event, the 4x100-meter relay for the men. It will be 3 heats, and the top 2 teams across the finish line first of each heat will automatically qualify to Friday's final. Then the next 3 fastest times over the 3 heats. And Dan O'Brien, we saw some amazing 4x100 relaying in about a month ago in Baton Rouge. Collegiate record was set, second time fastest ever was set, but now it's the Nationals.
Well, you saw that team up Florida Gators there. Ryan Willie will lead off, the fantastic 400-meter runner. Mike Holloway always has the Gators ready to go in championship season.
They will be in lane 6. The other team we're looking for in this first of 3 heats is lane 4. That's Nebraska. Minnesota out well.
Well, Nebraska and Minnesota bounce back and forth. The Big Ten overall lead all season long. They are having a really good year. You don't expect that from the Big Ten.
Florida now making its move. That is P.J. Austin on their third leg, getting ready to hand off to their outstanding sprinter, Robert Gregory. And that is Gregory for Florida. And it's going to be close at the tape, but they're both automatic qualifiers. Very close between Florida and Florida State for the win, but the top 2 across the line will automatically run on Friday. 38:22 is the flash time, and I'm not seeing it correct. So fast running right out of the gate.
Well, we expect to see fast 4x1s and 4x4s here. The Texas Relays really lit up the nation with some records, and you know the Texas women are going to get it done. There you see Florida State, always a threat in the 4x100-meter relay. There you see Ryan Willie to Ja'Cory Patterson for Florida. Ja'Cory Patterson goes to P.J. Austin, maybe the most consistent sprinter for the Gators all season long. That was not a great handoff for the third leg, but it was the strength of Robert Gregory here down the home stretch on the last leg. There you see him, 4th from the left in the blue sleeve. Robert Gregory, he'll overtake Florida State there to come away with the heat win. Robert Gregory, one of those guys we're going to look at as the favorite in both the 100 meters and the 200 meters open as we get through the next 4 days.
There are your official times. Florida's winning by 500ths. That's a season best for Florida State and the fastest qualifying race ever at the NCAA championships with 2 heats remaining. Now a little time before the second heat. We get ready. We're going to be looking at the new collegiate record holders in lane number 7. That will be LSU. They set that record just edging Florida at the SEC championships in Baton Rouge last month. And then inside them in lane 6 will be the defending champion Trojans of Southern Cal.
Well, like the University of Florida, you know Southern Cal is going to put a fantastic team out there. They're going to be wearing the white today, but there's the LSU. They'll be out there in lane 7, and this is a lineup. Brandon Hicklin, Dorian Kamel, DeMarcus Fleming, and Godson Ogunbrume. 3 of these guys, Dwight, have made it here in the 100 meters, and they'll run in probably less than an hour's time in that open 100, but this is a fantastic team. They had a good relay last year, but they had stick fumbles at the regionals. They didn't even get to the national championships last year.
All the speed in the world is no good if you don't practice those passes, and we've seen that proven over and over again internationally. Unfortunately, recently with the U.S. team at World Championships and Olympic Games. There's a little look at Southern California. The Trojans, that's Johnny Brackens, the sophomore, will be starting off for them.
Well, the Trojans have had to deal with a little bit of adversity. Johnny Blockberger, after the Pac-12 championships, experienced a little bit of a hamstring injury. He's not here with the team, and not him. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife for the USC Trojans. He can run the 4x1, 4x4. He would have qualified certainly in the 400 meters, but they've had to move some people around. And the idea at USC is the next man up. Carmelita Jeter has the next guy ready to go. And really interesting, last year they came in with, they talk about what they do and they shift the lineups around. They ran a 3:02 last year coming into the national championships. They lose their best guy in the 400 meters, and they come back and run 2:59 and win the NCAA record in the 4x4. That's just how good USC is.
Trojans always had a legendary sprinting program ever since I grew up there in the 50s and 60s, paying strong attention, obviously, to the local schools. Now they're getting into their blocks. So it'll be USC in 6, LSU, the collegiate record holders, in lane number 7. Bruins down there in lane 3 as well.
Iowa in lane 5. They've run 38.70 this year for a new school record. They were runner-up to LSU at the Texas Relays earlier this spring.
And they bring them up. Remember, from Texas Relays, a few snafus with the timing. Want to make sure they get everything right.
Louisville out in lane 8. They've also run in the 38-second range, 38.87, and probably their best sprinter, Cameron Miller, the fantastic 200-meter runner. He'll run on second leg for the Louisville Cardinals. Don't count out lane 9. There's the Georgia Bulldogs.
Both Matt Bowling and Elijah Godwin on the Georgia Bulldog 4x1. Bowling running along the second leg, Godwin finishing. Officials looking very, very closely. We had a little bit of a conversation with USF's leadoff runner. And they are off in the second heat. And going well in lane number 4. Pretty even first leg for everybody.
Well, fantastic pass for LSU. There you see Dorian Kamel with the one leg sleeve down the back straight.
Georgia going well out in lane number 9. Now here comes LSU making up the gap. It looks like the Tigers going to pass first. Godson Ogunbrume with a nice lead. Might be going for the record right here in the preliminaries. Hey, let's up at the tape. 38.07, but certainly corrected to 38.06. Certainly leaves you thinking there's more there.
Well, they had good passes all the way around. Brandon Hicklin to Dorian Kamel. Here you see the first pass. Easy to see Dorian Kamel on the way out. He's got the single leg sleeve. Look at the efficiency, boom, little miss on the first pass, but Kamel was able to keep his hand up there, and then it goes Dorian Kamel to DeMarcus Fleming, and DeMarcus Fleming has said all season long for the LSU Tigers that this was a redemption year for them not getting that stick around last season, and then Godson Ogunbrume, you don't want to give him a gap. If he gets a lead, nobody in the country is going to catch him in the finals.
It was Louisville second, Georgia third, so Georgia will have to sit back and see what happens with times. But 38.06 and 38.49 for the two automatic qualifiers. Georgia has to sit back and see if they get one of the 3 spots on time. Number 2 in meet history was that time by LSU, and you could certainly tell that there was more there. Setting blocks now for the third and final heat of this opening event of the 2023 NCAA Championships. Take a look with number 5 on his hip. Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, will start in lane number 5. Adam Clayton scheduled to be their leadoff runner.
Well, and not only will they be a threat for this 4x100-meter title, they're in the team title. The last time the NCAA championships were here in Austin, Texas, it was the Texas Tech Raiders who raised that trophy, and Wes Kidley winning his first ever NCAA team title. They have got to do well in the sprints. 4x1, 100 meters, and 200 meters is going to be their bread and butter over the next 4 days.
Right outside of them in lane 6, it'll be the Pac-12's Arizona Wildcats, number 8 this year amongst collegiate teams.
Well, and Arizona has just been an absolute model of teamwork. Nobody on this 4x100-meter team is running an individual event, yet they come together as a really solid team. They ran 38.82 earlier this season. They're going to be somebody to keep an eye on. In Arizona State, inside of Texas Tech and Arizona as well, has run fast, 39.11 for the Sun Devils.
So the third and fourth placers in the first two heats are very interested in this heat. The bubble time, 38:64. The third, fourth place finishers in this heat, they got to run faster than that, and that time is recorded by Iowa in heat number 1. If they run faster than that, you're not going to advance on time if you aren't in the top 2.
Texas Tech will go Adam Clayton, Courtney Lindsay, and then DeAndre Swint and Terrence Jones. Jones and Lindsay, two of the fastest guys in the country. We'll see them both in the 100 meters and the 200-meter open later this evening.
You can never forget Texas at home. They'll be down in lane number 2. They run 38:89 this year. A long hold on that third heat. And early on, Oregon out pretty well. They're in lane number 7.
Hell no, Arizona got their ass.
Now Texas Tech starting to make a move. Pretty even so far amongst the favorites. And Tech takes off first. For the anchor, he's gone. Texas Tech, Terrence Jones, they're going to win easily. Now let's see if we can separate number 2. It looks like it's going to be Arizona State gets the second automatic qualifying spot. 38:20 by the Red Raiders in first. And that's a school record for the Red Raiders.
Well, just solid execution all the way around for Texas Tech. Looked like a nice conservative pass there between Adam Clayton and Courtney Lindsay. Here we see that second exchange. And DeAndre Swint ran the turn just fabulously. And you gave to Terrence Jones. This is going to be one heck of a race. You see LSU and Texas Tech both pass at the same time. We're going to see who can run this thing to a championship. Very, very interesting. But Terrence Jones, a lot like Godson Ogunbrume, you give him a little bit of a crack, he's going to be a really tough guy to run down. But Arizona State bringing Justin Robinson. We'll see him in the open 400 meters later today as well. A little bit of a hamstring injury late in the season, but he seems like he's over that now as the Sun Devils get through.
Well, no time qualifiers from this third heat, so the 3 time qualifiers, you see them there. Alabama State, Georgia, and Iowa got through on time from the first 2 heats, but there are your finalists. Those are the teams that will take the track on Friday for the championship. Well, LSU made it look pretty easy. Maybe they're ready to set